Oi, oi, oi. Hey. Mommy, oi. Let's try this again. Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good Monday morning. All the outside open, outside unlock. We free to come out to the public. COVID-19 protocols in place, but nevertheless, we could leave our yard space this morning. All you want go? How was the inside weekend, the lockdown weekend, the full-fledged curfew weekend? I know a lot of us got some housework done. We got some family time in. We got some much-needed rest. Let's look at the positives. Not all of us wanted to be locked up inside for a full weekend, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and it seems to be working because the COVID-19 dashboard released yesterday. It looking kind of nice, innit? The number's still climbing, but it looking kind of nice compared to the last 2 weeks. Don't worry, I'll tell all you a little bit more about it in the meantime. But let me hail up all the folks, whichever platform you're using this morning to join us on Good Morning Grenada. Bless up your whole selves, whatever kind of weekend you had. Those of you outside of the spice aisle, whatever you did, hope you did it safely and responsibly. Those of you on the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, the website, GBN TV, Classic, Party Grenada, and Go to Fed Facebook pages. Good morning! All our viewers and listeners across the region, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And those of you joining us internationally, all your morning, afternoon, night. Hope you will have a good day, or having a good day, have had a good day. We get straight into it. It's time for this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is yclept. Yclept. It's spelled Y-C-L-E-P-T. Yclept. It's a verb which simply means called or named. Yclept. The archaic English verb yclept is a past participle of the equally archaic verb which means to call or name. This initial Y derives from the Old English, a prefix used to mark past participles. While GE eventually fell out of use in English, many other Germanic languages such as Dutch and German still use it and similar prefixes to mark past participles. Yclept was first recorded in the first millennium AD. The word of the day this morning, yclept, spelled Y-C-L-E-P-T. It's a verb which means called or named. An example for the use of the word: so much for the time when, now for the ground which I mean walked upon, it is yclept thy park. And as you can tell, that came from William Shakespeare. Another example of the use of the word: a tenured pat, foes have oft yclept me shady. Should my post I abdicate, New England hearts will fast deflate. Word of the day this morning, yclept, meaning called or named. You know what? The names people call you, the words people use to call you or to name you, that's what yclept means, outside of the name that you were born with. Yclept, aka kind of a nickname. Yeah, nickname could kind of work in the same thing as yclept. Named or called outside of the name that you were born with, that's what yclept is. So when somebody meets you in the streets, what kind of nickname you does have? Boy. Your name Eugene, but they're calling you Robert in public. Is that kind of vibe? Say that's what yclept means. Okay, yclept, word of the day this morning, a verb which means called or named. All right, let's see what's the thought of today. The thought for today, and I'm hoping it rang true for most of us or all of us, especially over the weekend. My greatest treasure is, was, and always will be my family. It's jumped out at me this morning because y'all know I'm all about family. Anybody who knows my family know how tight-knit we are. Bless up all your whole selves in all parts of the world. I love my family to the fullest, and I'm hoping that with the lockdown weekends that we have, that we would continue to spend more family time Here today, gone tomorrow. The thing coconius. You just never know when some family member's number will call. So spend as much time as you can with each other. Love on each other. Respect each other. Quality time. It doesn't have to be no big, long set of thing because, of course, COVID-19, if you're not in the same household, you can, be spending too much time together. But a little WhatsApp video. Thank heavens for WhatsApp video. Any way that you can spend some quality time. Eat, drink, boy, girl, country, animal, total over WhatsApp video. We've done it before. It's always fun. Little cheating takes place, but it adds to the spice. Spend some family time. There's nothing like family. And that doesn't always mean blood family, eh? We have family members that don't share our DNA, but they tight like family. So the thought, coming up, we have a next lockdown weekend this weekend again. We have more quality time to spend with each other. My greatest treasure was, and always will be my family. Remember that family is important. Blood or not, family is important. Continue to spend some quality time. You just never know what will happen tomorrow, God willing. All right, we're going to skip what is celebrated today. I'm just going to mention it. International Chocolate Day. Whatever. The other day in July was World Chocolate Day. Chocolate's so fantastic. It has a World Chocolate Day in July and International Chocolate Day in September. I mean, come on, why you want better than that? Set up all yourself with all your favorite chocolate in moderation. In moderation. It could be chocolate tea as local cocoa. Boy, local cocoa tea, that's it. Local cocoa tea for International Chocolate Day today. All right, COVID-19 dashboard. That's where I want to get to. Yesterday, the dashboard revealed the lowest number of new cases that we've had in just about two and a half weeks. The COVID-19 dashboard showed only 41 additional COVID-19 cases. And with the numbers still in double figure, for 41 to still feel like good news for some of us, all you know how coconious the thing has been for the last couple of weeks. 41 new cases yesterday, bringing our active cases to 1,955. We're almost at 2,000 active cases. Continue to be safe. We have 51 people currently hospitalized, and in 24 hours Grenada recorded 4 or 5 new deaths. The COVID-19 dashboard on Saturday night either had 22 or 23 deaths, and right now it stands at 27 deaths. So please, like I just said, spend some time with the family, blood or not, because you just never know. So let's see what happens over the next few days, the next week. Minister of Health did say that we can't really gauge how better is getting until we've looked at a 10-day span. Prior to today, the dashboard from Saturday night had, I believe it was 200 and something cases. Hold on, let me make sure. I like to come through with the big facts. 182 on Saturday night, but 41 last night. That's a big reduction. Let's hope it continues to reduce in numbers as we go forward. The thing's sticky, so just continue to be safe. Masks, hand sanitizers, soap and water, stay home. Let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, we're going to bring you Week in Review. Good morning, Grenada. After a long weekend, all outside open. Wear your masks, though. We'll be right back.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Get Rubigas. Get cooking. Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going. Let's get tough on greedy and larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, 400 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the farmers, please don't steal produce from your brother. Then you sell it to traffickers, hotels and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop greedy and larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report greedy and larceny, call 300.
Commence this week's Weekend Review with news on the health front as COVID-19 continued to plague the country. The coronavirus has been rampant over the last few weeks. According to figures issued by the Health Ministry, the virus had by the end of the week claimed more than a dozen lives. Thursday, for example, was another day of heartbreak for several families, including a household at Kalivini. The Ministry of Health had the arduous task of informing them that their teenage daughter succumbed to the complications related to COVID-19. 18-year-old Rihanna Bruno of Kalivini died on Thursday morning. Across the world, the virus has spared no age group, and slowly the picture is also being painted in Grenada. Christina John reports.
One vaccinated person among the 12 COVID-19 related deaths. Health Minister Nicholas Steele indicated that it was a lone elderly female in her 90s. The minister also highlighted the number of persons presently hospitalized.
And that was a 97-year-old female. 29 patients in total. 7 are critical. 2 of those 7 is a very bad prognosis.
A press statement from the Government Information Service stated that most of the COVID-19 deaths were unvaccinated people. However, it provided no breakdown on how many persons who died were vaccinated. 7 more COVID-related deaths were announced in the past 24 hours, which brings the total number to 12 since the start of the pandemic in Grenada in March 2020. Minister Steele explained that it can be ruled a COVID death even without a post-mortem.
The same way when somebody is run over by a vehicle or knocked down by a vehicle, you don't need to have an autopsy to prove that it was because of the vehicle or death that they died. That the body from the trauma of the vehicular accident or the body from the trauma of COVID-19 succumbs, and its weakest spot eventually becomes its failure spot. So yes, that is why with COVID-19, the information known worldwide, it is not necessary to go all the way to an autopsy, because you know that this is what has caused the trauma to result in whatever part of the body failing to cause hospitalization.
The deceased, all of whom had comorbiditis, were confirmed cases of COVID-19, ranging in age from 26 to 85 years. The Ministry of Health has also confirmed that 5 of the deaths were among patients admitted to the General Hospital, with 1 death at the Princess Alice Hospital, the 7th person dying at home. Data provided by the Ministry of Health indicates that 4 of the deceased are females and 3 males. 4 of the deceased were residents of St. George, while the remaining 3 were from St. Andrew. The Ministry of Health continues to encourage Grenadians to get vaccinated, as this reduces the risk of severe diseases, hospitalization, and death attributed to COVID-19. They are also encouraging the population to follow the recommended COVID-19 protocols to safeguard themselves. Christina John, GBN News.
For more than a year, the sister island of Carriacou had no known cases of COVID-19. However, that status was changed during the past week. Government officials implemented measures to protect Carriacou and Petit Martinique from the virus. Rena Per Thomas gave us an update.
Health officials in Carriacou have confirmed 4 positive COVID-19 cases with mild symptoms. 2 of the individuals recently traveled to Grenada. The remaining 2 have no travel history over the past 2 weeks and are not part of the contact tracing of the first 2 individuals. Medical doctor Wilfred Seesaw, attached to the Princess Royal Hospital, says despite this, they cannot yet confirm community spread.
So it's important to know that we're going in a very serious situation now here in Carriacou. We can't confirm community spread, but of course that could be a talk of the coming days, because as things looking right now, we cannot confirm it as yet. And we are trying with all the cases that we have so far. Contact tracing has started on all these 4 cases. So far, thank God, we didn't get no new no confirming case from the contact of all those 4 cases that we have so far. But of course, we cannot say yet, because days come in that we have to do testing still, and some of these contacts has to be retested still.
The doctor was speaking alongside the Minister of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and the local government, Kendra Matuin-Stewart, on a radio interview over the weekend. Minister Stewart acknowledged that, like mainland Grenada, they have been faced with non-compliance of protocols from persons in the community. She said many households and businesses are affected by the virus.
And what we have noticed with the cases that are coming forward are young persons so far. Are young persons, and these persons are unvaccinated. What I can say is that there are several households, several businesses as well, including some government businesses or some government buildings, that will have to be shut as a result of the contact tracing and the isolation that is necessary and needed at this time to get a handle and a whole as to our present circumstances. But in terms of numbers, we are unable to say, well, 40, 50, but a significant number of households are under isolation and quarantine at the moment.
Restrictions on inter-traveling between Grenada and the Sister Isles are among protocols put in place to curb the spread of the virus on the small islands. Persons who have to travel to or from the Sister Isles must submit to COVID testing and receive written clearance from the Ministry of Health. Deputy Commissioner of Police Michael Francois, in a press conference over the weekend, says the Coast Guard Department has also upped its game in enforcing protocols.
We have had our Coast Guard unit monitoring all our coastlines, and we have additionally beefed up the Coast Guard response at Carriacou and Petit Martinique. So there are vessels up there. We have sent in an additional vessel to Carriacou, which is monitoring our waters between Grenada, Carriacou, and the other islands which surround those islands. So the Coast Guard is up and about, and we are doing what is expected with respect to COVID and other illegal activities in those areas.
Grenada has over 1,000 active coronavirus cases. The numbers are expected to increase in the coming days. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Health administrators continued to juggle priorities as the coronavirus dynamics unfolded. They have expanded the care capacity, moving from 10 beds to close to 60. Beverly Telesford has this report, which highlights the most recent steps taken by the Ministry of Health.
A 9-bed isolation unit was initially set up at the start of the pandemic last year to add to the isolation rooms, which were added in what was the hospital's private block. However, the number of people who require hospital care has increased. As a result, health administrators saw the need to expand capacity for the treatment of persons who have contracted the virus and require medical intervention. According to Director of Hospital Services, Dr. Carol McIntosh, the General Hospital can now accommodate up to 55 persons in isolation.
We had to convert the lower level of the general hospital to our isolation ward. We had to move our pediatric ward upstairs into another ward and distribute our patients accordingly so that we would have the entire floor. And as I stated before, that can allow us for a maximum of 49 beds. And if necessary, we can increase that further. So we have increased our number to try to just stay at least one step ahead in preparation for if there are any need for hospitalization.
Health Minister Nicholas Steele says it's a continuously evolving process.
You're familiar with Princess Alice. There's a male and a female section with the administrative and casualty A&E in the middle. So on one side, we have turned that side into COVID, to treat COVID patients. And the other side we have crunched in male and female together there. That will continue as best as possible based on the load. Carriacou is different. Princess Royal is different. There are accommodations there to house someone, but the decision to transfer to General Hospital will be made as best as possible much earlier.
On Wednesday evening, the Ministry of Health announced another COVID-19 related death. For GBN News, Beverly Telesford.
Burnt-out employees on one hand, while some workers are left at home with nowhere to go. That's because of the new regulations which have limited the number of businesses which are allowed to operate. These measures were implemented as the Health Ministry tried to stem the coronavirus tide. Rena Pear was out and about in the city on Thursday. Let's see what she found out.
It's just past midday, and this is what the tongue of St. George looks like. The doors of many businesses have been closed since Monday. While supermarkets and pharmacies are allowed to operate fully, some businesses operate on an appointment-only basis. A few weeks ago, operations in the town would have indicated a bounce back in the economy. Today, some call it a ghost town.
It's poco. The week whole time I'm sleeping. I just wake. The week stores was open, things are a little better. But when the store closed now, it's tough. It's tough. At least they could have bring the coffee at 7 o'clock, no problem. But when the stores were open, people want a little medication, a little pad, a little this, a little that. They could have the 2 stores open.
Most days I come in town and I make $1. Even worse, they close down all them Indian stores in town, so nobody in coming in town.
Look how much waste I have to throw this morning. That's ridiculous. We poor people and everybody making $1 how they could. It's very hectic for the sellers and them in this time. Pandemic time, very hectic.
It ain't no sale. No sale going on here in town today. Not today, but the place closed down, so nothing much going on over there.
Grenada's second wave of the coronavirus pushes active cases up, surpassing the 1,000 mark, once again affecting the livelihoods of many. In recent days, the Ministry of Health advised the population to refrain from traveling unless it was necessary to curb the spread of the Delta variant in Grenada. The revised emergency regulations listed some businesses that would be allowed to remain open. The spectrum mainly covered organizations in manufacturing, healthcare, and related services. Vendors are among those feeling the pinch.
No, boss, we need help. How you survive? No place to break in, nothing to happening. We don't come in and just beg you for nothing just so. We go and climb skin up tree, we go and climb mango tree to look for $100. We don't break in no place. We just asking Prime Minister to meet everybody, beast everybody. Just give us a little, bly on the street just to make a little dollar to survive, please.
The police have to be a little more lenient with us. A little more lenient. I mean, we know we need some social distancing, sanitizing and so on. How much people would come to the market? I had to have my own little line on the sidewalk, enough store closed. I could block out in front of a little store and have a little business going on for the day still.
From 5 p.m. Friday, no one but essential workers on duty are allowed to leave their yard space until 5 a.m. Monday. The same applies to the following weekend. This was announced by Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell at his last address to the nation as one of the new protocols stipulated under the COVID-19 regulations. Standing in the tongue of St. George, I am Rena Pear Thomas reporting.
persons looking for economic change in the not-too-distant future had better think twice. The word is that we will be in a tight financial space for quite some time. The sobering thoughts of Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell as he addressed the opening of the 2022 budget retreat on Wednesday morning.
With the steps that we took in locking down the country, there was a feeling that within another year or so that we would be able to return to business as usual. So while to some extent there was an adjustment in the decisions that we make in preparation for the 2021 budget, the fact is today the situation is in fact very different from this time last year. It means whatever adjustment we make, we have to do further adjustments.
The Prime Minister says the 2022 budget will be a challenging one to compose and execute, but the country remains resilient.
Everything we do now, as we look at the preparation for the 2022 budget, ought to be guided by the present atmosphere, which, based on what we are seeing, we do not expect to see major changes in how we operate within another year.
A suspension of the fiscal responsibility rules will continue into 2022. The expenditure rules and targets in the Fiscal Responsibility Act were first suspended last year amid the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. In March 2020, the escape clause in the Act was invoked and the expenditure rules and targets were suspended for that fiscal year. Despite the challenging times, the government continues to face calls for salary increases, which are due to public servants and teachers.
One is the fact that the outstanding and retroactive payment of 7 months, January to July, that is still not resolved. As you and the public would know, government indicated that they cannot pay that. It's $8.4 million cumulatively that's owed to all public sector workers in Grenada for the course of 7 months. $8.4 million. In the grand scheme of things in Grenada, we know that $8.4 million is a mere drop in the bucket. It's a trifling amount compared to government's sort of spending habits.
However, the Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Mitchell, warns against the perception that all that's needed or desired is within arm's length.
There is that perception that government can find resources at any given time to do whatever we wish to do. But the question of where the resources coming from is never addressed in our initiative to spend. I believe that we have to come to terms with this because that's a harsh reality. That the present atmosphere and how going forward requires a much clearer understanding of that process.
The retreat is being held virtually and has brought together members of the business community and other sectors who must collaborate with government to further the country's economic growth. For GBN News, Janelle McDonald.
Our lives are more important than our livelihoods. That's the word from the National Bus Association. On Tuesday, the association issued an advisory appealing to its members to cease operations for 1 week. However, as we will hear from Rena Per Thomas, that proved to be a divisive issue.
The National Bus Association is calling on all its members to suspend operations from Wednesday 8th to Wednesday 15th in the first instance. This is a bid to curb the spread of COVID-19 among association members and the public. According to the press release, with members already faced with the high cost of operation, there is now the added cost of bus sanitization due to the increased number of COVID cases, with bus operators among them. Added to this, the release noted that busmen are constantly at risk transporting members of the public to and from testing sites without knowing their status. They are now choosing lives over livelihoods. In response to this, Minister for Health Nicholas Steele is calling on bus operators not to pull their services, but rather join forces with the rest of the nation to fight the virus.
Regardless, this is not the time for withdrawal of services in protest. This is the time to consider the safety of yourself and your family. This is that time, yes. And if that is the position that any association, bus association or any other association is taking, that I cannot fault them for. And in fact, to an extent, I would say let us discuss and find ways to do that safely and to the benefit of all.
Bus operator Christopher Stewart, who contacted GBN via telephone, said he does not agree with the actions of the bus association and thinks there are other options to solve the issue.
For that statement, I don't think that is the right time to make a statement, because there is frontline workers working. Yeah, I think nowadays some of the from apartment working every other day. And I think we should really try rotating the bus, cut down the sizes of the bus than trying to say stay off the road. I don't like that statement at all. For over there, I saw a lot of guys working tomorrow, but I mean, they had to cut down on the trip, the skating a day, and maybe try to work together,
Grenada has over 1,100 active cases. This has affected many businesses and led to the restriction of movement for many, leaving public transportation hard hit. For GBN News, I am Rena Pett Thomas reporting.
By Wednesday, the St. George's bus terminus was still abuzz despite the NBA's call for strike action. Bus operators spoke with GBN's Christina John and shared their reasons for still being out on the grind, as they call it.
The National Buses Association took a stance to stay off the road from today. However, some bus operators did not heed that call. In a release issued on Tuesday, the NBA called on all its members to suspend operations from Wednesday 8th to Wednesday 15th in the first instance. Their rationale for their action was stated as a safety measure to protect its members and the public, given the increasing numbers of positive COVID-19 cases on island. GBN engaged some operators on why they decide to continue operation. One driver thinks the NBA did not go through the right channel before taking such a decision.
If the bus association make that decision, right, as I was advocating to them, did you all meet with the government to let the government know that you all are pulling up the service? And in regards to that, my answer, they didn't. You understand? Because based on the answer that I got from the president.
Others say people need to move about and they are willing to provide the service.
The reason why I'm out on the road today, that is because, some of the people have to go to work. We cannot afford to leave some of the people struggling, because we are the same bus drivers that look daily for, so some of us have to look daily for them just the same, right?
Customers travel with me daily. So they asked me last night if I was working today, and I said, yes, because regular, monthly, daily customers travel with me all the time. I depend on them and they depend on me.
Like I have nobody to help me pay my bills. It's true I take my risk, but doing all the necessary thing, sanitizing the passenger and doing the protocol. Then close the terminal.
You just have to keep yourself, sanitized and try to keep away from the passengers, because right now the whole only one in front with me. Yeah.
The reason why I'm out here today when we have the rotation
I was home and them was working. Right, so I decided, well, me and brother with them, I come out to work today. Right, and that's about it.
This bus driver who plies the number 2 bus route says it should be a level playing field.
Telling us pull our service, stay home, whereby we would not make a dollar. When they come to you and offering you the staff up to bring the staff, say you do not want it because you want to protect yourself and everybody from the COVID. If you decide to take the staff up and a man decide to sit down home, how is he going to make a dollar? You understand? So you're looking out for yourself, but you're not looking out for the ordinary man. You understand? And this is the reason why men come out and work.
The release added that busmen are constantly at risk, transporting members of the public to and from testing sites without knowing their status. They are now choosing lives over livelihoods. Christina John, GBN News.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 418-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
State-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
5 things you need to know about self-isolation. Stay home. If you are told to self-isolate, it means staying at home, not going to work, school, or other public places, and you should not have any visitors. Separate yourself. If you live with others, then you need to stay in a well-ventilated bedroom with the doors shut. If you have to share a bathroom, then use it after everyone else. Don't share towels and toiletries, as this may put others at risk. Call ahead. If you develop symptoms such as a fever or cough, then seek advice first by calling the Ministry of Health's hotline at 538-4787 or 458-4787. Please do not show up at a medical center or hospital, as this may put others at risk. Take care with waste. If you test positive, your waste should be double bagged and disposed of separately. Create a buddy system. If you live on your own, you can plan with friends and family to check in with each other and run essential errands if one becomes sick. Once sick, they should leave groceries on the doorstep. Why it's important. COVID-19 causes a mild illness for 4 out of 5 persons. Self-isolating will help protect the older generation and those who may have underlying health problems from getting infected.
The Hero CPL T20 is back. Catch all the smashing action from St. Kitts and Nevis, August 26 to September 15
on GBN.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page and YouTube channel, and www.gbn.gd. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Feel good facts. Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
My granddaughter.
Feel good facts. Help prevent cold and flu by washing your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. That's the time it takes to remove most germs. No soap and water? No worries when you've got alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
Stop the spread of germs that can make you and others sick. Cover your nose and mouth with a tissue when you cough or sneeze. If you don't have a tissue, use your elbow. Wash hands often, especially after coughing or sneezing into a tissue.
Outside, don't forget your mask. Good morning and welcome. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience, whichever platform you're using this morning. Happy to have you. All right, let's get into this morning's discussion. I am excited to have my guest with me this morning. One, all in all, bias to the ladies, and two, she's a family friend, a young lady that I saw grow up, and I'm happy to see that she is actually making strides, and it's an interview that I'm looking forward to this morning. Let me try and contain my excitement. Join me, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming to the program this morning Kyana Bubb, who is, hold on, I'm gonna take my time, an author, a Grenadian author in Grenada. I like it. Good morning, Kyana, and thank you so very much for joining us this morning. I know it's early hours for you.
Good morning, Blossom. It's not really that early for me because
early
usually
riser?
I'd be on work right now.
Oh, okay. So, that usual thing then.
3 o'clock to this time. This is my time. This is my time.
You're better than me.
Imagine on vacation you're waking up 7 o'clock every morning.
You're better than me. It's almost 2 years and I'm still not used to waking up 4 o'clock in the morning. So you've set up yourself. So as I said in the beginning, Kyana is an author. She penned a book called The Adventures of Zola and Sage, Women in Aviation. And it is a book that you don't really see much of. So my first question, Kyana, would be, why did you decide to write a book about women in aviation?
Okay, so as I would always say, right, social media has its pros and cons. So I was on social media sometime during August last year. I was on Twitter, to be exact. I was scrolling through my timeline, and a girl from somewhere in America, she posted a tweet, "I've never seen a female pilot." So I'm like, in this 2021, you haven't seen a female pilot? A lot of social media people claim to be traveling and all of that, and you haven't seen a pilot. So like, what is it? Make it make sense. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to write a book. But that was a joker. From that initial tweet, that was a joke. Until probably like a week or so later, a pilot friend of mine from Bahamas, she just finished getting a pilot license. So she was working with a private company in Bahamas. And she went to work one day, and while she was working, like a few of the guys she was working around, they were telling her that she shouldn't be flying plane, women shouldn't be flying plane. And exactly my reaction. And she didn't pay her way for flight schools, like guys paid it for her. So I'm like, I was actually disappointed to see that coming from men this year. And I was like, nah, that needs to change. We cannot have the little boys, we cannot have the little girls growing up with this mentality. So I went ahead to pen the book like one time, same time. Everything, like the entire book from start to finish was written in that moment. I sent it off to Camille John. She was a person that went through it and said, make a little change here, but I probably had like 4 or 5 changes to make. So from initial writing to that whole editing process, there wasn't much to change. And I also sent it over to Amy Jones to do some look through as well. And that's where it was. That's how it started.
What exactly did you want to bring across in the pages of your book? And for the people who are unaware, just share your profession with us.
All right. So I'm an air traffic controller, right? Let me ask you, Blossom, do you know what an air traffic controller does?
Control the air traffic, but working with the airplanes to make sure that they land and take off properly, for lack of a better word.
Properly, safely, all of that.
That's what I'm looking for, safely.
I know. Right, so you'd have a general idea, right? Other people would think that an air traffic controller is a person that stands on the ramp with the orange sticks, yellow sticks, and call the aircraft in. No, we don't do that. That's the ground marshals. We're the ones that we sit in a control tower. So the little lighthouse tower looking thing on the airport is not to spy on people. It's just to make sure that your plane lands, take off, taxi on the ground safely, or even fly through the sky safely. It's a lot of communication. It's a lot of talking. But this is where you have to say a lot in a short space of time. Because, you know, planes can't reverse. Planes don't have rear view mirrors and all of that. So we're there, mirrors in the sky. They're heroes in the sky. They call us the gods of the sky, everything. So we're always there for the pilots and the passengers. So if you think next time you're traveling, you're going to give your pilots a clap, you can also give the air traffic controllers a clap, because we got you through the sky safely. So it's generally a job that doesn't have much ladies in throughout the world, air traffic control. And I thought it was nice to write a book on aviation to add all of that together to, you know, get girls as well to join the aviation field on a whole, and probably try to have a look at air traffic control to, you know, get an idea of what it is to, you know, join the field. It's a really nice job. I really, really, really love it. You know, sometimes you may think you know all the different types of aircraft until one day you sit and you just see this strange aircraft type pop up on your work strip and you're like, what is that? I would love to see it. And that's me. I know that's my reaction. I would love to see this aircraft, you know, and you'll just sit there mesmerized. Like, how this plane take off? Okay, yes, I know I gave you the takeoff clearance, but like, how
does the mechanics
do
work?
That?
Right.
Yeah, and then the pilots know. They would come and ask, how do y'all get us through the sky? Like, how do y'all know? I'm like, the same routines we give y'all is not just a little joke. If we tell y'all go right or left, it's not a joke, you know? We're trying to protect y'all from something that y'all may not be able to see. And then what is essential, we share information to the pilots. And a response is very necessary. So in the book launch, I was also telling the kids, when your parents call you or they ask you a question, respond. Because if you want to work in aviation as a pilot or air traffic controller, what we say, a read back is very important. Hear back is just as important as a read back, you know? So it's like, mommy said, Johnny, come. Yes, mommy, you're coming. Did you do this? Yes, mommy, I did it. So basically the same in air traffic control. When you tell a pilot, go right, they have to read back, go right 120 degrees, whatever it is like that.
Okay. How did you decide? Well, you got the idea in August. About a month later, the book was written. What was the process to get it published, illustrated? I understand that your illustrator is from the Sister Isle of Karakou. Karakou, big up all yourself. What was that process like from writing to publishing?
Okay, so I stopped a bit like October or so. Mind you, I didn't tell my mom anything. She only knew about it in like the late process, because you know how mommies can be, you know, do this, do that, you know. So I didn't tell her about it until I wanted to get everything down and straight before I let her in on it. So what I did, I went back to Twitter and I asked for Caribbean illustrators, right? And I got a lot of them. So I know there are a lot of them out there. And probably if I reshare it, I would get more. So anybody need illustrators, I can always hook you up. But yeah, I asked for Caribbean illustrators, and a friend of mine, she led me to Nadika Alexis from Karakou. So I was like, I know Nadika. I've heard about her drawing and everything. So I went to her Instagram page to look for her work. And I was blown away. I was like, okay. I messaged her one time. I'm like, okay, this is a scenario. This is what I want to do. This is a book I want to write. This is a scenario. Can you give me a picture, a drawing that suits that? And probably within the same day or so, she sent it back to me. And this was the one I had asked her to do. Mm-hmm. This was a drawing, the scenario I asked her to do. I'm like, immediately I'm going to use it in a book. And I sent her the manuscript of what the story is going to be like, page by page. And she did the drawings within a week. And that was done in December. Yeah, that was done in December. That's when I started back. I picked it up and I'm like, you know what, let me go ahead with the book. So she did that in December. Then I self-published with Amazon. That's Kindle Direct Publishing. It was a very easy process, no cost to do your self-publishing. So the only cost I had was for the illustration and the buying the copies to bring down here to sell. So I did my final touches to the book between January and February. I really wanted to get the book here in time for my birthday to start selling for my birthday in February, but things didn't work out as planned. But on my birthday, I got an email from Amazon saying that my author's proof copy was delivered to the address is going to be shipped out here. So that was enough for me for my birthday. That was really good. And then by the next week, I got the proof copy and I'm like, is this actually real? I'm holding the book. I'm like, I actually did that. Is that my name there? That was my whole reaction to it, and I couldn't believe it. Like, I was just there smiling because I like to smile, but I was just smiling way more than usual. And then I went ahead. I was like, you know what? Let me just do the final touches, corrections, and all of that. And I went ahead. I stopped. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to leave this for August. And I was like, nah, I'm going to leave this for June. Nah, you know what? Let me just do it now. So I did the final touches and I hit publish on Amazon. But then I got an email saying that the book cannot be published now. You have a change to make. I'm like, really? And that was like 3 o'clock in the morning when I was getting ready to go to work, right? So I was dressed and everything, and I'm on my iPad trying to make the little changes and all of that. So luckily, I messaged the illustrator, hoping that she would answer me like sometime during the day. She answered me one time. She told me what it is I need to do. That's why I have to say shout out to Narika all the time, because she helped me in that little bit of panic. So I'm getting ready to leave the house for work at 5 o'clock in the morning while I'm trying to do this final change. It was just this little spot here. I needed to bring the words away from the edge so it wouldn't get cut off. So it was just this. I needed to keep changing and changing. So I did that like 5 times in that short space of time. Amazon was replying very fast, so no sticking. And I was leaving work like 2 o'clock. And I usually have my notifications on my phone off. So when I checked my notification while I was sitting in the staff list, I was like, your book has been published. So I sat there and I was like, okay. And then after a while, I was like, wait, my book has been published? So I couldn't scream out to the bus. So I just sat there and I was just smiling. I don't know, the people in the bus probably thought I was crazy. And then I got home. And then I let my friends and family know that the book has been published. I shared it on Twitter and everywhere else. And I told my friends and everyone else to buy. And the day it was published, it was 2 years since I've completed my air traffic controller course in Trinidad. So that was like my graduation day anniversary. So I published the book officially on that day. That was March 29th. So I have a lot to remember on that day as regards aviation.
What are you hoping readers of the book would be? And I'm specifically not saying children, because I know there are young adults and adults who have gravitated and who like the book. What are you hoping readers of the book would walk away with after reading The Adventures of Zola and Sage?
Well, I'm glad you specified it like that, because I'm sure it would mostly be adults watching the program right now. It's a children's book, but what I said in writing the book, that though the words may be a lot for a 5-year-old to read, they can watch the pictures. But then an 18-year-old is reading the book, enjoying the book. Adults as well have bought the book and they're enjoying the book as well. So when you read the book, as someone told me, they didn't know what an air traffic controller did. They didn't know what an aerospace engineer does, right? So in the book now, there are the breakdowns of what they do. There is a definition, and then there's a nice little glossary for the other jobs that you didn't see a definition for in a story, but you would see a definition for at the back of the book. And then you would see, like, we have Mother's Day, Father's Day, Valentine's Day, and all of that. We have Pilot's Day, Flight Attendants Day, National Aviation Day was a few weeks ago in August. And what's coming, and which is my favorite day, is Air Traffic Controllers Day, which is October 28th. So you would see all of that. So you know how you give a happy Father's Day greeting, a happy Valentine's greeting. Hopefully we can get a happy Air Traffic Controllers Day to the air traffic controllers here in Grenada, because that's what you get from the book, as well as you may want to explore options with your children. So rather than the regular lawyer, doctor, or teacher, police officer, you might try to say, hi, look, have a look. What do you think about being a pilot? This is what a pilot does. No, you won't die flying a plane easily. So you have to be really off, or something has to be really wrong for you to die flying a plane. So it's basically, just to share with the trend, even if it's a teacher reading to their students, these are other options you have in life at different jobs. So although all aviation jobs weren't specified because it's just 36 pages and you have to try to get as much in, but I couldn't get all the jobs in. And hopefully in the other books, I would bring up the other jobs, of course. But I was even telling the kids at the book launch, there are aviation lawyers, there are aviation doctors, aviation teachers, aviation photographers. The only thing I don't think they have is an aviation DJ. That's the only thing. Even there are aviation radio stations, magazines, and all of that. They are just in other parts of the world. So I was telling the kids that, so even if you want to be a doctor, you can do aviation medicine. You can do anything you want to do. Just each one of them has a specific field. So if you want to specify in that, you specify in that.
And you just highlighted in the other books, how soon will we see, following the success and the great reception you've received for The Adventures of Zola and Sage, what are your plans for the other books? Would it be like a series, a continuation of Zola and Sage, or will you bring in new characters? What are you thinking so far?
Okay, so I'll just give a little hint since you asked. Persons can follow the page Adventures of Zola and Sage on Facebook and Instagram. You will see a lot of information and hints coming up. However, I wrote 2 already. I'm just deciding which way to go with it. It can go either way. I'm just sitting and deciding which way to go with the book. However, we'll be having new characters. I'm bringing in the boys. So I will leave them out. I'm bringing in the boys. Zola and Sage must have friends, not only girls. So I'm bringing in the boys. I've had a lot of people asking for boys. I've had a lot of people asking for a series. They're asking for a 5-book series. They're asking for a 4-book series. And I'm also bringing in a dog. So right now, I posted last week, if you have a name you would like the dog to have, you can just comment under the page, under the post, whatever name you think Zola and Sage can name their dog. And whatever name I pull from the bucket, I probably give someone a nice little token, probably a puzzle for the child or something like that. That's what I have going on right now. And I'm also trying to see if I can get to 200 sales on Amazon by September 29th, because that will be 6 months since the book has been launched. So I'm trying to see if we can pass 200 sales. I can't remember the exact number we are at yet, but we're almost there to 200 sales, which is a good thing. So hopefully, persons would see this and, go to Amazon one time and purchase a book, and go to the Facebook page and help me name the dog or something like that.
Your Facebook page, Kyana Bubb?
Adventures of Zola and Sage.
Okay. All right, I'm going to participate.
That's the name of it, Adventures of...
I'm going to participate.
You can guess as much as you want. You can say a lot of names. A lot of kids already have given me a lot of names. I've gotten Hershey's, I've gotten Pepsi, I got a lot of food names, cinnamon, roti, I got
roti,
all different.
I like roti.
I told you.
I'll vote for roti.
Sushi and all,
I'll vote for roti and maybe sushi too. In addition to Amazon, where else can we get the book?
For now, For me, back home, but I think I ran out of copies, so I would try to get some more copies down. They're $20 if you're purchasing from me. If you're interested in getting a copy, you can send a message to the Adventures of Zola and Sage page on Facebook or my personal page. I would see the message and I would make notes of it, and you can get a copy of the book for only $20. I'm also doing puzzles right now. For now, I have 60-piece puzzles for $25.
Zola and Sage?
Yeah. Okay. So what I have different images for the puzzle, and I would leave the choices up to persons. Like, if you want this image, if you want a more technical image for the puzzle, then fine. So the sizes are 60, 252, 520, and 1014. And the prices go up from 25, 50, 75, 100 for the biggest size. And if by request someone wants a 30-piece puzzle for a smaller one, then I'll do that for them. I'll just finalize the price I give them. But it should be between $15 and $25 for the 30-piece puzzle.
Do you think that the reception you've gotten, do you think a lot of children have actually shown more interest in aviation, whichever area it is? So, mission accomplished?
Yes. A parent met me on my staff bus 2 weeks ago, and they was like, Kyana, my son loves the book. No, he wants to be a pilot. He wanted to be a police officer, but no, he wants to be a pilot. And then last week, though, my coworker messaged me and told me that her daughter wants to be an air traffic controller. She was part of the book launch, but she finally got a copy of the book, and she told her mom, Mommy, I want to be like you. I want to be an air traffic controller. And it warmed my heart because I know she participated in the book. She knows about Zola and Sage, and she's seeing what her mom is doing. She's seeing what we are doing when when she's around us. She hears us talking about work and all of that. And she's only like 7, 8 thereabout, and she says she wants to be an air traffic controller. She's willing to do the work to be an air traffic controller. My little cousin up here, he wants to be a pilot. So I'm like, mission accomplished. The simplest, mission accomplished. That's all I wanted to, like, even if they don't actually be that in life, they considered it, they looked up about it, they read about it, they have been educated about aviation to know and remember that aviation is there, and it's a very important field. If we believe it or not, it is really important.
I believe it. I am so happy. I'm proud of you. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to reading the book. I am going to order and big up on the names. Thank you for not using the usual Sue and Lucy, and no offense to the people who have those names, but that's what the names you usually see in books. So I'm glad you were creative in coming up with the name Zola with an X and Sage. Big up yourself with the names as well.
About the names, it was unusual, right? I got Zola from Grey's Anatomy. That's Derek and Meredith's adopted daughter, Zola. I love the name since then, right? So I'm like, I would change it from my Z to an X. An unusual name. I did not want to go with a very common name. And then I was thinking about a next name to use. And then my friend from Antigua, they were like, why not choose Sage? I was like, oh yeah, cool. After I wrote it everything, I remembered, I know someone here in Grenada with the name Zola, and my neighbor's name is Sage. I was like, I did not even remember that until after. And then, when you go through the story, you would get the other names of the characters in the story, and then the boys in the next book and so. But I tried to stray away from very common names. But there's one name. Yeah, there's only one. There's one that's a common name, and that's from a friend who helped me with the book and all of that. Right. I was like, you know what? Let me just give her a simple shout out by just adding her name there. She's from St. Vincent's. And I'm not too sure she'll see it, but big up yourself, Kayla. Big up yourself. Everybody from St. Vincent that assisted me in this. from Anguilla, Antigua, back home, my circle at home, my very close circle at home. The persons from Kenya, random people from Kenya, Australia that messaged me about the book and all of that. This book made waves, I'm not gonna lie. Even the traffic controllers in Argentina and Chile and stuff like that had access to the book. The Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba, it's all over. Over. St. Lucia was the first Caribbean country to get a copy of it when it launched. That's what it is. It's all over. But the book itself, like the thought about the book, apart from what the person's tweeted, it would not have been possible if I didn't get the motivation from a few female pilots. Like just seeing them working, hearing them working, talking to them on frequency. One, her name is Fiona. She's from Antigua. She's one of the reasons why I smile on work. You know, it's all woman power. And then the next one is Vashani from Trinidad. Another reason why, you know, I want to fly plane and so because I follow them on Instagram, then I work with them, and just, you know, being a lady and seeing a lady do this powerful thing, it's really, 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 really inspiring. So those two ladies, I would have to give them a very huge and special shout out. And I still cannot forget my pilot guys. I cannot leave them out. The whole lot of them, from Cam to Tara and to Graham to Marlon, all of them. Big up yourself.
And big up yourself, Kyana. Congratulations.
That's right.
Looking forward to reading
air
it.
traffic controllers I work with, thank you so much for being my co-workers and, you know, giving me the inspiration to write the book. Really forward for y'all as well.
Bless
I
up
probably wouldn't
yourself.
have had anything to write.
I like that. Bless up yourself, Kyana. Congratulations. Looking forward to reading Zola and Sage, and looking forward to the other books. Let me go name the dog now. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day and keep doing what you're doing. Air traffic controller out of Greens. Bless up yourself. Have a good day.
Thank you so
Say
much.
hi to mommy and daddy. I know they're watching. And brother, I know they're
Yes,
watching. But
and
tell them
all
hi.
right, my brother, my amazing brother who turned 21 yesterday. He's a next very important person in this. I forgot, but I am very sorry beyond, but happy belated birthday, but thank you. And probably one day, I know mommy and daddy would not get on a plane, but probably one day you'll get a brother and sister duo flying a plane.
I like that. Thank you very much, and happy belated birthday beyond 21. Big man, no man. Have yourself a good day, Kyana. Bye. All right.
Bye.
Grenadian author Kyana Bubb. You can get the book on Amazon if you can't get a physical copy. It's called The Adventures of Zola and Sage, Women in Aviation. The illustrations are beautiful. Big up Karakou. Big up yourself. Let's take a quick break and then we come back and join Just School Media for this morning's Traffic Cam. Stick and stay. We'll be right back.
Lucky customers are enjoying free drinks, free electricity, free fuel, extra cash account, free internet, cable, and data, all for 1 year. Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year big promotion. With just 2 draws remaining, you can be the lucky winner in August and September for property or vehicle insurance for 1 year, free cooking gas for 1 year, and the big free groceries for 1 year. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Sol Gas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carrot Brewery, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling, Grenlick, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year big promotion.
Hi, darling. Are you still working on that article to help customers better understand the Grenlick bill?
Yes. Have a look. The left side shows the electricity rates and government charges. The middle has your present usage and 8-month usage history. And the right side shows all your charges.
What about the fuel and non-fuel charge?
Good question. The fuel charge is the cost of fuel to generate your electricity. The non-fuel charge is the cost of delivering electricity to your home and any other necessary services.
And VAT?
You pay 15% on the non-fuel portion of any usage over 99 units.
How much much is the environmental levy that Grenlec collects for Solid Waste Management Authority?
This charge on domestic customers is $5 or $10, depending on your usage. So, add the fuel, non-fuel, VAT, and the environmental levy, and that's your electricity bill.
Grenlec, energizing our Grenada.
Just Cool Media is passing through the tongue proper this morning as we join him for this morning's traffic cam.
Halifax Street. People standing outside to get into the supermarket. Vendors selling their fruits and vegetables. Just take the time. Just rush in. Take your time, people. Take your time. We cannot be in a hurry. We got to take our time. Whether we have to get into the supermarket, yes, we need food, but we got to take our time. You can come and get some fresh mangoes right here on Halifax Street. Now we are traveling up Halifax Street. It's a quiet morning in the town of St. George. Now we swing left and go on Go Street. Some of the businesses are still closed. Some of the small businesses. You see, for instance, like going up this step, you all see this rail going up the center of this step. You gotta avoid holding that rail. That could have so much germs. So you can walk in the center and avoid holding the rail. So it's Monday morning on the island of Grenada. Just Cool Media in collaboration with GBN, your Monday morning traffic cam. And this is the Monday after our first lockdown weekend in September. St. John Street, and we urge you, so my fellow Grenadians, we will get through this. We are a resilient people. We cannot have things our own way. COVID has taught us that we need to think about our neighbors more. We also need to learn to follow protocols. It's a matter of survival for us and for our family, for our entire nation. It's a matter of survival. So if you're not feeling well, stay home. Now we are climbing Hospital Hill. Going up Hospital Hill. And then up Old Foot Road as they extend the road to make it wide enough to accommodate two-way traffic. So thanks to the Ministry of Works and also to the relatives who may cooperate, because some of the graves have to be moved in order to widen the road. Now we're going down Old Fort Road, and on a normal Monday, traffic, jam-packed traffic. But as we know, we are not in normal times. It's a matter of survival. That invisible enemy is out to get us. And to fight it, we gotta work together, hand in hand, as one people. As our national anthem says, together we aspire, advance, build as one people. So we gotta do it together. We gotta follow our national anthem. We pledge ourselves to thee as one people to work together as we fight against.
Every Monday and Wednesday, 7:45 a.m., we link up with Just School Media for Traffic Cam. That's something about that song that's just... That song is a whole vibe, and so it's what is a sort of place on lockdown still. Was that Lower Lucas Street? Lower Lucas Street is free of traffic, no traffic. Oh, you don't have school. Don't have physical school, I should say. So there's not a lot of buses congregating in the bottom of Church Street, or that intersection with Church Street and Lucas Street right there on top of Market Hill. Okay, makes sense now. So those of you going into the city, it appears to be flowing smoothly. No traffic jam, and it's rush hour, 8 o'clock. No rush hour, no big set of thing, like people not aware outside open. I ain't sure what happening, but either way, if you're going through town proper, you ain't had to sit in traffic for too long, if at all. So thank you once again to Junior Checkley, Just School Media, a collaboration with GBN for Traffic Cam. And now let's end the televised portion of Good Morning Grenada and get ready to join the BBC for its 8 a.m. newscast. Enjoy the rest of your marvelous Monday. Remember to be safe and sanitizer, soap and water, mask, social distancing, and most importantly, stay home if you don't need to be on the outside. Bye-bye.
And when you see me rocking by myself, tell them it's no false pretense, so me tell them.